you. Do you want to get started? Yes. Where's the energy? Woo! We're very excited to be here. So I am Erika, and I have here with me Shatong and Kelly. And today we're going to talk about data sharing and collaboration on the Lakehouse. First, some housekeeping. You've probably seen this before. So all of these is our innovation. It's for informational purposes. And so there's a lot of features that we will discuss today that might change in the future. Also, we appreciate if you leave your questions to the end. There's 3 of us, plus there's Steve here, and we would love to talk to you about data sharing and collaboration if you have questions. And so today, I will tell you a story. I'm here to tell a story. So many of our customers are interested in collaboration and sharing on the Lakehouse. And Databricks is all about making your life simple. So we know you are building the applications of the future, and part of what you want to do is share data. And so we've talked to many providers and customers. So what we do is we listen a lot to what our customers are saying and what essentially motivates them to share data. So one of the most important things is that in these times, you not only want to share data and live data sets, but you want to share notebooks and dashboards. You want to share machine learning models, AI. It's a different time. And so you want a platform that helps you do that. Also, it is important to know that external data is valuable. There's just no way you can build all the data. You have to rely on other providers and other sources to use and build applications. And then finally, like something that we've seen as we've talked to many of analysts and a lot of people who are doing research, this is Gartner saying that if you want to increase monetization and obviously get better economic performance and in general better business outcomes, data sharing is a solution and something you have to think about. And we do talk to customers. I was talking about this. We talk to providers. And then there's different things that definitely they always say are hard. You know, sharing is hard. Collaboration is hard. But 3 things that stand out as we talk to them is, one, that there's vendor lock-in. So it's really hard to work with like one cloud or one platform. You want to be able to be capable of building solutions that are open with your tools and your clouds and your services of choice. Also, another thing that they tell us a lot, in particular partners, is they're very limited to monetize because sometimes you can only share live data sets or some applications. But you want to be able to share also notebooks, you want to share machine learning models, and dashboards, and many more things. So you want a bigger opportunity to share. And then lastly, obviously all this sharing cannot be done if a platform is not secured and well-governed. So this is why it matters just to think about what are the problems. And for that reason, we've been evolving our Lakehouse and our Databricks platform to be able to help our customers solve these problems. So one of the most important things is that our sharing applications can go across platforms. There's no problems with replication. You can go across clouds, and you can use an open protocol for that. Also, you can share all your data and AI, so it's not just your data and live data sets, but it's also your machine learning models, your notebooks, your dashboards, and even more. And then finally, we want to make sure that you feel you have a platform that is secure and that we have enough in the platform that helps you share solutions in a secure and well-governed way with Unity Catalog and Delta sharing. And we're going to be talking a lot about Delta sharing today. So today, this session actually will have 3 chapters. One is on Delta sharing. We're going to talk about also cleanrooms, which we're announcing today as in private preview. And then also marketplace, which we talked about a little bit in the morning. So let's start talking first about Delta sharing. 2 years ago, we launched Delta sharing. It's an open protocol. And we've been gathering a lot of momentum with it. But it's an open standard for secure data sharing. So one way to think about it is you have data providers and you have data consumers. And in the middle, you have data sharing, which is a protocol. And one thing I must say is it's been amazing, the momentum that we're gathering. We have now over 6,000 customers that are working with Delta sharing. And we are sharing over 300 petabytes of data every day. So definitely a lot has gone in the community. But let's spend some time on data consumers and think about what is it that they use. So Excel, let's talk about Excel. Excel is a great tool. It's one of the biggest inventions of our time. A lot of data ends up in Excel. My team occurs in Excel. My budget is in Excel. I play in a band, and actually my playlist is on Excel. But a lot of data scientists and data analysts also like Excel. And just like they love Excel, they love many other tools. So we want to make sure we have a platform and an ecosystem that supports any tool, any cloud, and any provider that you prefer. And we've been growing our community. So we have support for Spark and Pandas. If you like open source clients, we've improved our business intelligence integration with Power BI and Excel and more tools. And also, we are improving the way that we grow our ecosystem with more cloud providers. So today, I'm excited to announce that we've also been growing our ecosystem, and we are welcoming new partners. So Oracle, Dell, Twilio, and Cloudflare all support data sharing. And Cloudflare in particular, we're excited to say that now we support Cloudflare R2. And then there's zero egress fees, zero replications, zero provider compute, and zero lock-in because we have Delta sharing. And to talk a little bit more about what's new in Delta sharing and go deeply into the platform and show you an amazing demo, I have Shatang here.
Thanks, Erica. In last year's Data and AI Summit, we proudly announced the GA of data sharing on Databricks. So it all started with sharing Delta tables. But in the past year, we've built an entire set of different data applications on top of the data sharing protocol. To get started with, we have launched sharing views, schemas, and data streams so that you can share your data set at scale with data filtering and also with real-time processing. Earlier this year, we also launched the ability to share notebooks so that your data recipient can get the insight of the data very quickly by doing very easy explorations. Also launching to preview is the ability to share volumes so that you can share data in any format, which is very valuable for working with AI and ML-related workloads. And speaking of AI, we'll be also launching the ability to share AI models in data sharing as well. So now, data sets, notebooks, volumes, and models, all these kind of different assets are now shareable on data sharing, and you can work collaboratively on those data and AI assets with either your partner or your customer across the organization boundaries. So in addition to expand the data sharing protocol to cover all these assets, we've also been focusing on improving the performance and scalability of data sharing. So we recently achieved this 50x plus query performance improvement, and this tremendous improvement is powered by a series of optimizations we have done, including but not limited to file processing parallelization, using IMOS tokens versus generating precise URLs for each file, and also the data skipping by pushing down the query predicates. So those are all common techniques, but when they're done right and they're combined together, the result is simply remarkable. We've seen a few of our customers' workload to have this dramatic latency reduction, as well as our internal workload. And we believe that data sharing is on its way to achieve the full performance parity with native Delta queries in the very near future. OK, let's take a look at all those exciting features now. So start with view sharing. View sharing now allows you to share any logical view defined on Unicatalog without any data replication, extra data materialization. And what's more is that as a data provider, you don't have to pay for the cost of the view computation because the cost will just be attributed to the recipient based on their usage. And there's abundant of use cases will be unblocked by this. For example, you can now share data with arbitrary curation, abstraction, and transformation. And also, you can apply data access control and data obfuscation based on the identity of your data recipient. And lastly, you can apply all of those in your data monetization use cases, especially when you have a large table and you want to share it with a large number of recipients with the custom view developed for each of them. And I'm happy to share that view sharing today is in public preview. OK, structured streaming. So we are very happy to bring the excellence of structured streaming on Databricks Lakehouse to data sharing by having a full integration. And now you can easily share data stream with your data recipient with end-to-end fault tolerance and also exactly once processing guarantees. This allows you to build data applications with freshness and timeliness, and also allows your data recipient to process the data in an incremental and a continuous way. And overall, this will just reduce both the economic and operational cost of sharing large data sets. And sharing, structured streaming data sharing now is in general availability. OK, sharing schemas. This one is actually straightforward. On Unicatalog, schema is an important construct for you to organize your data set. And today, we have a lot of customers having this pain point that they have to manage the individual objects when they share it. And this operational model is not quite scalable and sustainable. Now, with schema sharing, you can share a large collection of data sets inserted to a data share, and this will automatically catch up newly added data. So this leads to very easy data management, especially when it comes to data sets that are massive and also sees constant evolving. Schema sharing now is in preview and will be in GA very soon. The next one is notebook sharing. This is something that we feel very excited about because this simply enlarges data sharing to another dimension. Today, with notebook sharing, you can share a notebook in parallel to the data set, and your recipient is able to view the content and optionally choose to convert and clone this notebook to their own workspaces and run it. So this allows you as a data provider to share insights and guidance with your recipient by capturing those context, description, and usage examples in the shared notebook. Data collaboration is never this easy when you can have data and code in a single package. And notebook sharing is also already in GA today. Volume sharing. So as you probably know, Lakehouse stores this incredibly large amount of data, and lots of them are actually not tabular data. For example, images, audios, videos, PDF files. So volume today on Unicatalog is a new construct that allows you to work with large amount of data in arbitrary data format, including semi-structured data, structured data, and unstructured data. And the good news is that volume is also available in data sharing today so that you can share data in any formats. And this will help you to enlarge the scope of your data sharing application to another set of workloads, AI, ML, data science. Volume sharing today is in private preview. And last but not least, AI models. So with all the recent excitement around the AI, we believe that collaborating on AI models is also an important problem to address. So we're happy to share that model sharing today is available in data sharing, and you can share any Unicatalog registered model by simply adding the model to a Delta share. So a lot of use cases will be just unlocked by this. For example, imagine a company trying to monetize the model it develops, or a company trying to deploy models across their organizations in different geographical locations, or just two companies working together developing a model, and they want to exchange and communicate on their recent development progress. We believe that this is a great step on further democratizing AI and ML so that its true power can be harnessed by more people and organizations through this productive collaboration. And model sharing today is also in private preview. So with all that said, let's look at a real demo to see how those features works and how they can work together in data sharing. So in this fictional scenario, we have an AI startup company called Data Tech Solutions. They are on Databricks Azure, and their goal is to monetize some models developed, and now they want to give a free trial usage to one of their recipients. And on the recipient side, we have an AI research group called Inside Innovators. They want to consume the AI models from this data provider. So as a data provider, I have this data catalog contains all the things I want to share. So I have two models I want to share. One is called Clip. This one is developed by OpenAI. It's an image classification model that is suitable for a wide range of computer vision tasks. And this one you all know about is Dolly, developed by Databricks. It has a commercial use license, and we're just going to use the one with the 3 billion parameters. In addition to the two models, I also want to share some sample data sets. So I have this Delta table containing some language prompts with sentiments around the objects that will be later feeding to the language model. And I also have this volume, including some pet image data that will be feeding to the image classification model. And what is cool here is that this volume is actually hosted on this Cloudflare R2 storage, so that all the data shared from this volume is actually data egress cost free. So as a provider, the way for me to share it is simply go to the data sharing UI, create this new share, and then you can see that I can add all those data assets into this share. The table, the volume, and the two models. OK, there's one more thing I want to do, which is I also want to share a notebook that contains some sample Python code that showcase how to apply this model to those sample data sets. So I have prepared a notebook I want to share with my data recipient. And now I can just simply add the notebook to this Delta share. And the one last step is to share the permission of this share to this data recipient. And in this case, it's the inside innovators. So here it has a, oops. So here it has this little hint showing that this data recipient actually locates in a different cloud and region, so that it might incur egress costs. But since that Delta table and the volume is hosted on R2, I'm not too worried about that. Now we can switch the angle to the recipient side. So as a scientist in this AI research group, I can discover that there's a new incoming share from this data provider, Data Tech Solutions. And now I can choose to create a catalog, a unique catalog, to accept the data. So in this created catalog, I can discover that I have all the things prepared by the data provider, including the Delta table, the volume, and also the two models. And more importantly, under this catalog, I can discover under the other asset section that I have this notebook prepared by my data provider. So I can see this is very well organized and written, so that I'll just clone this notebook to my local workspace. And now I have this local notebook created. I'll just change the catalog name to the one that I just created, and connect the notebook to a GPU cluster I created beforehand. And let's see what happens if I click run all. And let's take a look at what this notebook contains. So it has some very well documentation. It has some showcase some queries I can run against this sample data set in this Delta table. So I can examine the columns and schemas, and also some sample data sets in this language prompts. So there are sentiments around those objects. And then I can also examine some sample data in these shared volumes. So I have some sample cat data and some sample dog data here. And here's the interesting part. This notebook shows you how you can apply this image classification model to those pet images. So here I'm going to use MLflow to load this unique catalog model. This model is kind of big, so it's going to take a few seconds here. But then once it's done, this cell shows how to randomly pick some images and feed it into this image classification model. And here you can see the first picture is a cat, two cats with high confidence. The second one is also a cat. The third one is also a cat. And the last one is another cat, angry cat. Another interesting part is how to apply the language model to those example prompts. So here, again, I'm using MLflow to load this shared model. And once it's done, I'm going to sample 3 random prompts to this language model to ask it to write a story about the object with the given sentiment. So here you can see that the model is doing its job, trying to write a short story about something about road trip and something positive story about garden blooming. And now, as a data recipient, I have some very good idea on how to use those models along with those data sets, thanks to this data sets prepared by my provider and also all those capabilities provided by the data sharing as a product. So I hope you all feel excited about all those new offerings and capabilities in data sharing. Of course, our journey on improving data sharing doesn't stop here. So I want to briefly mention what's on our roadmap and what's going to come next. So first, we want to further our journey on supporting more type of data assets. For example, SQL and Python user-defined functions, materialized views, and delta live tables. So the vision here is basically any type of assets you have on your Databricks Lakehouse should become shareable on data sharing. And also, we want to build better tooling and infrastructure for both the provider and the recipient. For example, we want to build better tooling for the provider to monitor and audit their egress cost. But on the other hand, as mentioned, Cloudflare R2 will solve this problem from another angle by make your data sharing to be freed of an egress charge. And we also want to improve the interoperability of data sharing by supporting more authentication scheme, for example, OIDC and OAuth. And lastly, want to simplify data sharing so you can share with individuals by giving their emails. So that's all with what's new in data sharing. Now I want to hand it over to my colleague Kelly here to talk about cleanrooms.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. I'm Kelly. I'm going to give an update on our strategy at Databricks on cleanrooms, also known as Databricks cleanrooms. So for the Lakehouse platform, what's really important for some of our customers, and most of our customers, I should say, is secure collaboration. They need to do this most of the time in an isolated environment, and that's where Databricks cleanrooms comes in. We've had a lot of customer conversations on secure collaboration where a data clean room is starting to make sense or does make sense, and there's a couple here across a few industries that I want to highlight. But this is by no means comprehensive. From the clean room perspective, the advertising and retail industries are the first mover adopters for clean rooms for various reasons. They collect a ton of consumer data that's subject to really strict privacy laws, so they're starting to turn to data clean rooms so they can share this data in an isolated environment for different activities like shopper behavior analysis or ad performance and things like that. Moving more into the regulated industry space, with finance, financial institutions can use clean rooms to combine data sets for examining things like fraudulent activities and tracking fraudulent transactions. And then finally, for health and life sciences, healthcare organizations can combine data sets for sensitive healthcare information and their machine learning models to do things like drug discovery, population health analysis, and so on and so forth. And with these customer conversations, there's been one thing that's clear is that existing data cleanroom solutions are too rigid. There's a couple reasons why. They're not flexible. A lot of them are limited to just SQL, which is still great, but when you want to move to do more complex computations like machine learning, SQL just won't cut it. From a scalability perspective, most data cleanroom providers are you can only share it with one collaborator. So a lot of our customers have multiple different cleanroom vendors to solve this. And then finally, most data cleanroom providers are closed in nature, which means you need to be on the same cloud or the same data platform, the same region to do any sort of collaboration. So we took these learnings and we built our data cleanroom strategy and our first-party product around the principles of flexibility, scalability, and interoperability. Databricks Cleanrooms allows businesses to securely collaborate with their customers and partners in a secure environment in a privacy-safe way. So a really simple example here is if you're a retail organization and you want to get information from your advertiser about your return on investment for the ads you've been spending on, Databricks Cleanrooms becomes that isolated environment for you both to share your raw data and get that input a data set back without actually viewing each other's raw data that you inputted into the clean room. With Databricks cleanrooms, we're evolving from simple data sharing to secure joint compute. Going back to those tenets I just talked about, flexibility, you can run any computation in multiple languages, the language of your choice really outside of just SQL. You can scale to multiple collaborators, so when we do GA Databricks cleanrooms, you'll be able to collaborate with up to 9 different collaborators in a data cleanroom. And then finally, from an interoperability standpoint, Databricks cleanrooms was built on Delta sharing, so that gives you the flexibility to share your data with any cloud, any platform on any region, which is awesome. And so we're excited to announce that Databricks cleanrooms on AWS is now available in private preview. We would love to meet with you to discuss your use cases. So with that QR code, you can sign up now. There's also a link on our blog post. So a little bit more details on that private preview. You'll be able to create a clean room. You'll be able to share that clean room with another collaborator on AWS on the same region. You'll be able to share tables and notebooks, and then you'll be able to run that notebook in a clean room. And what's exciting is we do have a demo, so you can see a little bit more on our environment. So in terms of the scenario, we're going to do really simple audience overlap analysis with 2 collaborators. So we have Acme Corporation, who's an advertiser, and then Wayne Enterprise, who is a publisher. They both have customer and advertising data where they're trying to see where that information overlaps. They're both Databricks customers, and they're both on AWS, which with our private preview, that's where we're going with. And now I will move into our demo. So here in Databricks, we do have a notebook called Audience Overlap, and you'll see the different things that will be running in this notebook, which includes Acme's customer data as well as Wayne Enterprise's identity graph data. We're going to do a join and see where there is overlap and produce a list of household IDs to see where that overlaps. We'll then move into our Data Explorer, which will have the brand new clean room section where we'll be able to create that clean room. We'll give it a name, Acme Wayne Clean Room. And we'll add in the share identifier for Acme so we can share that clean room. We'll also add the region, and we'll click Create. So now I have the clean room ready to get set up. We'll just pop into collaborators really quick, and we'll see that Acme has been listed as our collaborator here. And now we need to add some assets, so I'll add a table. I need to add, since this is Wayne Enterprises, I need to add the identity graph table from here, so I'll search for that. Awesome. And we'll give it a name that matches what it was listed in the notebook. And we'll go ahead and add it. So now our table pops in. We also need to add that notebook that I had originally had up on the screen. So we'll go back and add the notebook, really easy. We'll go add our audience overlap notebook and hit select, and we'll save that there. So we're almost ready. We'll soon flip over to the Acme experience, but first what I do want to show is if you do click into that audience overlap notebook, since this is Wayne, you can actually not run that notebook because you are not able, that's what Acme Enterprises will be doing. So we'll go back and we'll actually switch over into the Acme Enterprise experience. And so then they're in their clean rooms in the Data Explorer. They'll see the clean room that was shared with them, and they'll add their customer table of Acme customers really quickly, give it a name, and then add that table to the clean room. So now we're basically ready to go. So Acme will then go in to the audience overlap notebook, and everything's there. They'll click run. They can give it some parameters. For this demo, we won't be giving it any additional parameters. We'll just confirm that the notebook is ready to run. And then we'll get going. So now we can go into the job details and actually see our clean room environment getting set up. So we can click in and get some more details of how this is all getting set up. So the clean room is currently getting set up. We're not running the notebook quite yet. We're doing things like getting the isolated metastore together, getting the isolated workspace together. We're getting the data ready to share from Delta sharing. This can, take a few minutes. So for the purposes of this demo, we're gonna speed it up a little bit. And it's running, and we will go back. And like I said, pretend there's a few minutes that have gone by and that the clean room is ready to go, and we're ready to view our results. So we can click back in and easily view the notebook results to see the output of our clean room notebook being run. And from here, we'll see all the queries that have run, and we see that we had 73 customers that overlapped from our audience overlap activity. So that's a really simple use case on Databricks clean rooms that you'll be able to test out for your own use cases, and you can get a sense of the UI of what you'll be getting with the experience. Before I hand it back to Erica, just want to talk a little bit more about partners and customers. So clean rooms, external data sharing, we need a great partner ecosystem. So we've already been in conversations, active customer conversations, building integrations with these customers listed up on this screen, like Habu and Datavant and Health Verity. I know they had a talk earlier today. Habu had a talk yesterday as well. So we're super excited to work with you all on building your use cases for Databricks clean rooms. I do want to talk a little bit more about Habu because they're also an awesome clean room partner for us. Habu is a clean room provider. They did, like I said, had a talk yesterday. It was really awesome. And they run on Databricks, and we have a shared principle of interoperability. So if you are using the Habu clean room, you'll be able to share, like I said, on any platform, any cloud, and any region, which is awesome. There's a few things that we really like about Habu's clean rooms. First is they have a really great, robust set of partnerships between walled gardens, retailers, media and entertainment partners, identity providers, what have you. Second, like I mentioned earlier, the Habu's clean rooms run on Databricks Compute, and they leverage Delta sharing so you can get that interoperability. And then third, they have a really nice user experience for both technical and non-technical users. So business users are able to use the clean room, their clean room solutions. It's great for ad operations. It's really easy to understand the insights from the data. So with that, that's it for me on clean rooms. And I will hand it back to Erica to talk about Marketplace.
Thank you, Kelly. Oops. Nice job, Kelly. That was awesome. So let's talk about Marketplace. So it's a very exciting day for us. Today we announced that Databricks Marketplace is generally available. And going back to what we've been talking about, like what customers like, so there's providers and there's consumers. So providers have told us that one of the reasons why they prefer our marketplace is because they can share more than just data. So like I said, there's an opportunity to share files, tables, notebooks, dashboards, and more. And we just announced Lakehouse applications or Lakehouse apps. And that's coming soon, same as AI models. And that's something you will be able to have on the marketplace. Also, our consumers love it because there's like no vendor lock-in, you can get more data types, and then also you can get faster time to insights. Part of it is you can actually look for a provider, and then you can actually explore a notebook before even like getting to purchase anything or like have anything. And in the short time that we've released Marketplace, it's been actually less than 3 months, we have over 45,000 unique users. We have over 500 Marketplace listings, and actually this week we welcome a lot of our new providers. And this is across all different industries. So we have right now over 75 different data providers. And then this is also very exciting. You don't have to be on the product. You actually can go to our website, and we just announced Open Marketplace. So there's a button there that says Explore Listings. So you can go explore all the different listings that we have by different industries, by different kinds of providers and data, and you can just see the notebooks live, and you can do that right now. We are grateful you're here. We want to collaborate more with you. So today we talked about data sharing. Data sharing is generally available. Marketplace is generally available. And cleanrooms is in private preview. You can sign up today. And this is it. We are a very differentiated platform, most than anything, because we're open. As you saw today, we have the opportunity to share data across platforms with your favorite tools of choice and with lots of partners that we're welcoming all the time. We're grateful for your time, and we can't wait to see what you build. And with that, we're on time. Thank you.